Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're going deep on space tourism.
Yeah, it's really taking off, isn't it?
It is, and it's no longer just for, the billionaires and the astronauts. We're talking
Ugh.
about, everyday people. In a few years,
Yeah.
people could be taking trips to space, as early as like 2025. It's amazing.
It really is. And I think, what's really exciting is that there's just so much variety in the types of experiences that are becoming available. You've
Yeah.
got these quick suborbital hops up to the edge of space.
Right.
You've got these luxurious balloon rides that kind of cruise through the stratosphere.
Yeah, I've been reading a lot about the balloon concept,
Yeah,
and it seems like it's going to be a really unique way to experience space.
definitely. And then further down the line, who knows, maybe even some orbital space hotels. We'll see.
Yeah.
The future's pretty wide open.
Yeah, it's really incredible. So let's dive right in here. Um, One of the companies I've been reading about is this EOS-X Space,
Uh-huh.
and they're planning to launch these balloon trips
Right.
from Abu Dhabi and Seville.
Yeah, starting in 2025, I think.
What's interesting about their approach?
Well, they're really kind of emphasizing this slower, gentler ascent.
Okay.
So rather than kind of blasting off in a rocket,
Right.
they're using pressurized capsules
Okay.
that are lifted by these enormous helium balloons.
Okay.
So it might appeal to, a growing segment of travelers who are looking for a more eco-conscious kind of adventure.
Right.
So imagine like a 5-hour journey floating, 130,000 feet above the Earth. It's
Wow.
it's really a different experience than that rocket-powered rush.
Yeah. 5 hours is a decent amount of time.
Yeah.
I mean, I think when I first heard about these space tourism flights, I was thinking like, oh, it's just a quick up and down.
Yeah.
But, to have 5 hours in near space,
Right.
that's enough time to really take in the view and
That's
kind of
legit.
get acclimated to the idea that you're actually up there.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
so we've talked a little bit about the balloon powered experience.
Right.
But of course, there's this whole debate brewing about rocket versus balloon, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big question.
So for someone who's kind of considering these space tourism options,
Yeah.
what are the key differences between the two, and what are some of the things that they should think about when they're choosing between those two experiences?
Well, it really kind of comes down to, I think, are you are you seeking like a thrilling high-speed adventure,
Yeah.
or are you looking for something a little bit more serene and gradual?
Right. No.
So the rocket-powered vehicles, like what you see with companies like Blue Origin and Virgin Galactic, they're all about speed and intensity,
Yeah.
blasting you up to the edge of space, experiencing those intense G-forces, kind of like a really, really high-intensity roller coaster.
Yeah. Yeah.
But with, the added bonus of those just absolutely breathtaking views of the Earth's curvature.
I can imagine that's pretty exhilarating.
Oh, yeah.
Um, I mean, I can also see why someone might prefer the gentler balloon ascent, though.
Absolutely. And, companies like Worldview and Space Perspective, they're really focusing on this sort of luxurious balloon-powered experience.
Right.
So, think gourmet meals, cocktail lounges, a really relaxed and luxurious ambiance.
Wow.
And then there's this company, Zafalto,
Yeah.
they're actually boasting Michelin star dining at 85,000 feet.
That's incredible.
It is. So it's really a different approach.
Right.
It's less about that adrenaline rush and more about savoring that journey and those extraordinary views.
Yeah. Yeah. It's almost like, we're seeing the space tourism industry
Uh,
kind of take cues from the luxury travel industry.
Definitely.
So let's talk about the logistics of all of this.
Okay.
Where are all these space travelers going to be departing from?
Well, spaceports around the world are rapidly kind of transforming into these tourism hubs. They're building up all this infrastructure to support this new era of space travel.
Right.
One fascinating example is the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan,
Yeah.
a site that's really steeped in space history.
Yeah, that's right.
And they're opening this new tourist complex there, even offering direct flights from Dubai.
Wow.
So imagine, stepping off a plane and heading straight to a spaceport.
That's a sure sign that space tourism is becoming more mainstream.
Definitely.
What can visitors expect to see at these spaceport complexes? I mean, is it just, a bunch of launch pads or?
Well, it's not just about launching into space. It's also a chance to kind of glimpse into the past, present, and future of space exploration.
I see.
Imagine visiting these historic launch pads, exploring museums that
Yeah.
are dedicated to the history of space travel, and even witnessing live launches.
Wow.
It's really meant to be like an immersive experience that
Yeah.
allows you to kind of connect with this wonder of space exploration.
So it's not just the act of going to space,
Right.
it's the whole experience surrounding it.
Absolutely.
So are there any other spaceports that are kind of leading the way in terms of their approach to space tourism?
Oh, yeah. You've got Spaceport America in New Mexico,
Right.
which is home to Virgin Galactic,
Yeah.
and they're already running monthly passenger service.
Wow.
And then, of course, you've got the iconic Cape Canaveral in Florida,
Yeah.
which is going through this massive transformation right now to accommodate, this influx of space tourists.
Great.
They're expanding the Blue Origin terminal, and
Yeah.
they're making all these massive infrastructure upgrades. And Space Florida actually has these grand plans to turn that whole area into like a major space tourism hotspot.
Wow. So it sounds like Florida's going to be the place to be if you're a space enthusiast.
It seems that way.
Now, what about, other parts of the world? I mean, are there any other countries or regions that are
Yeah.
kind of vying for a piece of this space tourism pie?
Absolutely. California is getting in on the game with Vandenberg Space Force Base.
Okay.
They're going to be hosting SpaceX's Starship tourist program.
Wow.
So imagine blasting off from the California coast.
Yeah.
It could become a major, draw for space tourists.
Right.
And it's not just the U.S.
Okay.
It's really becoming like this truly global network of spaceports that's emerging.
Yeah, I see.
You've got locations like the Kourou Space Center in French Guiana,
Okay.
and they're partnering with Air France to offer a space tourist packages.
That's pretty convenient.
Yeah. Book your space flight along with your airline ticket.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Are there any other international players that we should keep an eye on?
Well, China and Japan are making some significant strides.
Oh, yeah.
You've got the Wenchang spacecraft launch site in China.
Uh-huh.
They're welcoming their first international space tourists.
Wow.
And they have plans to begin commercial flights by 2028. And then in Japan, the Tanegashima Space Center is offering this really unique experience, a zero-gravity training facility for tourists
Oh, wow.
to kind of prepare them for the real deal.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it seems like every corner of the globe is kind of eager to join this space tourism revolution.
Yeah, it really does. It's pretty amazing how quickly this industry is expanding.
Yeah.
But let's be realistic here for a second.
Yeah.
I mean, this all sounds incredibly expensive.
Uh-huh.
What's the price tag for these kinds of space adventures?
Right.
And is it really attainable, for the average person?
Well, it's still a luxury experience for sure.
Right.
But the good news is that prices are becoming more accessible.
Okay.
Suborbital flights like the ones offered by Blue Origin and Virgin Galactic.
Yeah.
They range from, $250,000 to $500,000.
Right.
Which, while that is a significant investment, it's comparable to, some luxury vacations or maybe even a down payment on a house, depending on where you live.
Yeah.
And then, if you're looking for a more budget-friendly option, those balloon-powered experiences can be found for around $100,000.
Okay, so it's not, pocket change or anything.
No.
But it's definitely becoming more attainable.
It is.
I've also heard that some companies are starting to offer financing options.
That's right. Companies like Worldview, they're recognizing that financing can make these cosmic journeys a reality for more people.
Yeah.
It shows that the industry is really getting serious about reaching a wider audience
Right.
and making space tourism, more than just a billionaire's playground.
That's a promising sign.
It is.
It suggests that this is something that, could become more inclusive and accessible over time.
Absolutely.
But, we've been talking a lot about these near space trips, these suborbital flights, the balloon rides.
Yeah.
What about venturing further into the cosmos? I mean, what does the future hold for those with even grander space travel aspirations?
Well, imagine waking up in an orbital space hotel,
Wow.
gazing down at the Earth as you sip your morning coffee.
Yeah.
Or perhaps even walking on the moon,
Wow.
following in the footsteps of the Apollo astronauts. These might sound like scenes from a science fiction movie,
Yeah.
but with the rapid pace of technological advancements, they could become reality sooner than we think.
Yeah, it's really mind-boggling to consider all the possibilities.
It is.
But before we get ahead of ourselves and start packing for the moon,
Yeah.
I'm curious about the practicalities of space travel.
Sure.
Um, what kind of training do aspiring space tourists need to undergo?
Right.
Is it as rigorous as astronaut training?
Well, you won't need years of intensive training like a NASA astronaut,
Okay.
but there is definitely some preparation involved.
Okay.
Think of it as like astronaut boot camp,
No way.
where you learn essential skills, things like spacewalking techniques, operating spacecraft, even flying, high-performance jets
Oh, wow.
to simulate those G-forces of launch and reentry.
So there's some real work involved.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just a, passive joyride.
Absolutely not.
What else is involved in preparing for a space trip?
Well, you'll also need to undergo some thorough medical checks
Okay.
and physical conditioning
Okay.
because space travel is, it is demanding on the body.
Wow.
So ensuring that you're in good health and that you're prepared for the unique challenges of space is absolutely crucial.
I see.
And then for those who really want to get a taste of what it's like to be weightless
Yeah.
before blasting off, there are facilities like the NASTAR Center.
Okay.
They offer these simulated space environments
Right.
where you can practice moving in microgravity and
Okay.
kind of familiarize yourself with those sensations of being in space.
Yeah, that sounds like a really incredible way to, kind of dip your toe in the space pool
Yeah.
before you take the plunge.
Exactly.
So, we've been talking a lot about the journey itself, the training, the different types of spacecraft.
Uh-huh.
But what about the actual in-flight experience?
Right.
I mean, what can people expect once they're actually up there?
Well, for the suborbital flights, companies like Blue Origin and Virgin Galactic,
Okay.
they really prioritize providing like a luxurious and memorable experience.
Okay.
So think, reclining seats, expansive viewing windows, offering those panoramic vistas of Earth,
Wow.
personal monitors that track your journey. Everything's designed to enhance that thrill and wonder of space travel.
So it's like, first-class flight,
Yeah,
but instead of crossing continents, you're touching the edge of space.
exactly.
Now, what about the balloon-powered experiences?
Yeah.
How does the in-flight experience compare to that?
Well, companies like Worldview and Space Perspective, they're
Yeah.
really all about elevating that luxury factor.
Okay.
So imagine gourmet meals crafted by renowned chefs, a curated cocktail menu that you can enjoy as you float above the clouds.
Wow.
And with Space Perspective, you even have the option to, personalize your experience.
Wow. So they're really transforming space travel into this truly luxurious
They are.
and unforgettable journey.
Absolutely.
But before we get lost in choosing our space cocktails and all that,
Yeah.
let's talk about the booking process.
Okay.
What are the steps involved in securing a spot
Right.
on one of these cosmic voyages?
Well, typically it starts with placing a deposit,
Okay.
and the amount of that deposit can vary quite a bit depending on the company and the experience.
Right.
You're looking at anywhere from a few $100s to, maybe even a substantial chunk of change like $100,000.
Wow.
The remaining balance is usually due closer to the flight date.
Okay.
And as we mentioned earlier, some companies do offer those financing options
Wow.
to make those dreams a little bit more accessible.
Yeah. It's interesting how it's kind of becoming more like booking a traditional vacation
Yeah.
in some ways with these deposits financing options.
Yeah.
But, I think it's important to address something that's probably on a lot of listeners' minds.
Yeah.
And that's the safety aspect.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is space travel. How is the industry ensuring the well-being of these space tourists?
Well, safety is absolutely paramount in this industry.
Oh, yeah.
And these companies are working very closely with organizations like the Federal Aviation Administration
Okay.
to establish and maintain these stringent safety protocols and regulations.
Right.
So before any spacecraft takes flight,
Yeah.
it undergoes rigorous testing.
Right.
All passengers have to pass thorough medical screenings.
Okay.
And of course, comprehensive training for space tourists is mandatory
Okay.
to make sure they're well prepared for the unique challenges and potential risks of space travel.
That's reassuring to hear that safety is a top priority. But as we venture further into this new frontier, I think it's also crucial to consider the potential impact of space tourism on our planet.
Absolutely. Sustainability is a key consideration
Yeah.
as the industry grows.
So what are some of the steps that are being taken to make space tourism more sustainable?
Well, companies are exploring innovative solutions to minimize the environmental footprint of space travel.
Okay,
So they're really looking at things like developing and implementing eco-conscious practices throughout the industry.
I see.
Researching and utilizing alternative fuels for spacecraft.
Yeah.
Things like biofuels and solar-powered propulsion systems.
Right.
Reusable spacecraft are becoming more common,
Yeah.
which reduces waste and the need for multiple launches.
Right.
And they're also developing responsible waste management strategies
Okay.
for both spacecraft and spaceports.
So it's not just, getting people up there and back.
Right.
It's thinking about the long-term consequences.
Absolutely. It's about ensuring that space exploration doesn't come at the cost of environmental harm.
It's really encouraging to hear that companies are actively working to minimize the impact of space tourism on Earth.
Definitely.
But, with all this talk of near space trips,
Yeah.
what about the future?
Yeah.
What advancements are on the horizon that could make space travel even more accessible and affordable?
Well, a lot of it really comes down to innovations in rocket technology.
Okay.
So you're looking at things like reusable spacecraft,
Right.
more efficient propulsion systems, advancements in materials, science. All of these things play a crucial role in making space travel more sustainable and cost-effective.
Right.
And as those technologies evolve, we can anticipate even more remarkable breakthroughs
Right.
that could really bring the dream of space travel within reach
Yeah.
for a much wider audience.
That's a really exciting prospect.
It is.
But with all this talk of technological innovation, it's easy to forget about the destinations themselves.
Right.
We've touched on suborbital flights. We've talked about, aspirations to go to the moon.
Yeah.
But what other destinations are space tourism companies targeting for the future?
Well, the International Space Station,
Yeah.
a symbol of international collaboration in space exploration,
Right. Yeah.
is a highly sought-after destination.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Imagine spending several days aboard the ISS,
Wow.
conducting experiments in microgravity, observing Earth from the Cupola Observatory, and just experiencing life as an astronaut.
That would be the ultimate space adventure, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
But I imagine that's probably pretty exclusive.
Yeah.
Are there other destinations that might be more accessible
Right.
for people who are looking for a shorter or more affordable taste of space?
Definitely. So those suborbital flights,
Right.
offering that brief but exhilarating glimpse of space,
Yeah.
with a few minutes of weightlessness and those stunning views of Earth's curvature,
Right.
those are a popular choice.
Yeah.
And then, as we've been discussing, those luxurious balloon-powered experiences
Right.
are a fantastic way to reach the edge of space in style and comfort.
Oh, it's almost like there's a smorgasbord of space travel options.
Yeah, it is.
Each offering, its own unique perspective
Right.
and experience.
Absolutely.
Now, beyond the ISS and these near space adventures,
Yeah.
are companies setting their sights on places beyond Earth's orbit?
Well, the moon remains a prime target.
Of course.
Companies like SpaceX are developing spacecraft designed for lunar missions, envisioning a future where tourists can walk on the lunar surface,
Wow.
explore its craters and mountains, and experience that, awe-inspiring desolation of our celestial neighbor.
A moonwalk vacation. That's definitely something to add to the bucket list.
Definitely.
But looking even further into the future, are there any destinations beyond the moon that are capturing the imagination of these space tourism companies?
Well, Mars is, of course, the ultimate frontier. It's still a long way off. But companies like SpaceX, they have these very ambitious plans to establish a human colony on the red planet, which opens up the possibility of Martian tourism someday.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Imagine, trekking across Martian plains, searching for signs of past life, witnessing sunsets that paint the sky in shades of, rusty orange.
Yeah, it sounds like a scene from a science fiction novel.
It does.
But, with the rapid pace of technological advancement, a Martian adventure might not be as far-fetched as it seems.
It might not be.
But before we get lost in dreams of Martian sunsets, I think it's crucial to address a fundamental question.
Okay.
And that is, what are the ethical considerations surrounding space tourism? And how is the industry navigating these complex issues?
That's a great question and a really important one.
Yeah.
And it really gets to the heart of, as we expand our presence in space,
Yeah.
we have to be very mindful of our responsibility to protect these pristine environments.
Right.
So we need to be thinking about things like the potential for space debris,
Yeah.
the ethical implications of, establishing settlements on the moon or Mars,
Right.
and this critical need to ensure equitable access to space travel.
Yeah.
So these are all really complex issues that require, careful consideration,
And-
ethical guidelines,
Right.
and international collaboration
Yeah.
to ensure responsible and sustainable space exploration.
So it's almost like a balancing act, isn't it?
Do you get-
Exploring these new frontiers
Uh-huh.
while simultaneously safeguarding their integrity
Right.
and making sure that the benefits of space exploration
Yeah.
are shared equitably among all of humanity.
Absolutely. It's a really delicate
Yeah.
balance,
It is.
but it's a balance that we need to strive for.
Absolutely. Now let's shift gears for a moment
Okay.
and consider the economic engine
Yeah.
that's driving this whole space tourism phenomenon.
Right.
I mean, it's clear that this industry is gaining momentum,
It is.
but how significant is the financial impact?
Right.
And who are the major players that are investing in this, this cosmic gold rush?
Well, the projections are pretty astronomical, I would say.
Okay.
The global space tourism market is expected to reach trillions of dollars
Wow.
in the coming decades.
Wow, that's incredible.
And it's attracting a really diverse range of investors.
Okay.
It's not just those traditional aerospace companies.
Right.
We're seeing major investments from tech giants,
Uh-huh.
hospitality brands that are eager to establish a foothold in space,
I see.
and even financial institutions that are recognizing
Right.
the potential returns on this burgeoning market.
So it's not just, a few companies vying for a piece of the pie. It's a whole ecosystem of investors
Right.
who are recognizing the potential of space tourism.
Absolutely.
But beyond the purely financial gains,
Yeah.
what other positive impacts can we anticipate from this industry's growth?
Right.
I mean, will it spark innovation in other sectors?
Yeah.
Will it create new job opportunities?
I think the ripple effects are likely to be really significant.
Okay.
The drive to make space travel more affordable and accessible
Yeah.
is pushing the boundaries of technology
Right.
in areas like engineering, material science, propulsion systems.
Mhm.
And these innovations have the potential to revolutionize industries
Yeah,
that go far beyond space tourism,
I see.
benefiting sectors like transportation, energy production, even medical advancements.
That's incredible.
It's like a cosmic catalyst for innovation,
Yeah.
where breakthroughs in space exploration lead to advancements that actually improve life here on Earth.
It's a really fascinating concept
It is.
that, the things we learn in space
Mm.
could end up revolutionizing various aspects of life on Earth.
Absolutely.
And I imagine, with these technological advancements,
Yeah.
there's going to be a surge in demand for skilled workers
Right.
in this, in this new space economy.
Absolutely. The space tourism industry is going to demand a highly skilled workforce.
Okay.
You're talking about engineers, technicians, pilots,
Right.
hospitality staff trained to provide exceptional service in a space environment, even medical professionals who specialize in space medicine.
Wow.
So this is going to lead to the creation of a whole new category of jobs,
Right.
boosting economic growth and creating these really exciting career opportunities in regions where, spaceports and related businesses are located.
So it's not just, a playground for the wealthy.
Right.
It could actually be a catalyst for job creation
It could.
and economic growth.
Absolutely.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
But as we delve deeper
Mm.
into the economic and technological potential of space tourism,
Right.
I think it's crucial to acknowledge the ethical challenges
Absolutely.
that come with venturing into this new frontier.
That's right. And as we expand our presence in space, we need to carefully consider our responsibility
Right.
to protect these celestial environments.
Right.
So again, we need to be thinking about the potential for space debris, the
Yeah.
ethical implications of establishing settlements on the moon or Mars,
Right.
and that critical need to ensure equitable access to space travel.
Of course, yeah.
These are all complex issues that require,
Yeah.
thoughtful discussion, ethical guidelines, and international collaboration.
Yeah, I think, in a lot of ways, it's similar to the challenges we face,
Mm-hmm.
Here on Earth with environmental protection
Absolutely.
and sustainability.
Yeah.
We need to make sure that we're
Right.
not repeating the same mistakes
Exactly.
as we venture out into space.
Absolutely. We need to learn from our past and ensure that we're approaching space exploration in a way that is both responsible and sustainable.
Absolutely. Now, shifting gears once more.
Okay.
I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the cultural impact of space tourism.
Okay.
How do you think this new era of space exploration will influence our art, our literature, or
our overall perception of our place in the universe?
Yeah, it's a really interesting question.
It is, and I believe the cultural impact will be quite profound. Throughout history, major explorations have always had this significant influence on human culture.
Right.
I mean, just look at the space race of the 1960s.
Yeah.
It sparked this wave of artistic expression from, science fiction literature and films that captured the imagination of a generation to, music and visual arts inspired by the wonder and mystery of space.
Yeah.
And as space tourism becomes more commonplace, I think we can expect to see a resurgence of this creative energy, reflecting our evolving relationship with the cosmos.
Right.
And our growing understanding of our place within it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exciting to think about all the art and the music.
Yeah.
And the stories that will emerge.
Yeah.
As more people experience space firsthand.
It is.
And that's not just about, professional artists, right?
Right.
It's about everyday people.
Right.
Who have the opportunity to journey into space.
Right.
I mean, they'll be changed by the experience. They'll come back with new perspectives and a deeper appreciation for our planet.
I think it's a truly transformative experience.
Yeah.
To see Earth from space, that pale blue dot, as Carl Sagan so eloquently described it, evokes a sense of awe, this humbling realization of our planet's fragility.
Yeah.
And just a profound understanding of the interconnectedness of all life.
I think, we've all seen those iconic photographs of Earth from space. And even just looking at those can evoke that sense of awe.
It does.
But to actually experience it firsthand must be something else entirely.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that perspective really has the power to change how we view ourselves.
Yeah.
Our relationships with each other.
Right.
And our responsibility to care for our planet.
Yeah, so it sounds like space tourism has the potential to be more than just a vacation.
Definitely.
It could be a catalyst for personal growth.
Yeah.
A source of artistic inspiration and a unifying experience.
Right.
That reminds us of our shared humanity.
It does.
And our responsibility to protect this planet.
Absolutely.
So shifting from, the grand philosophical implications to the practical realities.
Okay.
What advice would you give to, to aspiring space tourists as they embark on this extraordinary journey?
Well, I think first and foremost, do your research.
Okay.
There are numerous companies out there offering a diverse range of space experiences, each with varying price points, durations, levels of intensity.
Right.
So it's important to consider, your budget, your physical fitness, and the type of experience you're seeking.
Right. Are you looking for, like an adrenaline-pumping rocket ride?
Right, exactly.
Or are you looking for something a little more leisurely and luxurious, like a balloon ascent?
Exactly.
Do you dream of experiencing weightlessness?
Yeah.
Or spending several days orbiting Earth?
It's all about figuring out what's right for you.
It's like planning any other trip, right?
It is.
You've got to consider your budget, your interests, the type of experience you're seeking.
Absolutely.
But with space travel, there are, of course, some unique factors to consider as well.
Definitely. Be prepared for a thorough application and training process.
Okay.
Most companies require extensive medical evaluations and physical conditioning to ensure you're fit for the challenges of space travel.
Right, because it's demanding on the body.
It is.
And you're going to be in a pretty unique environment.
You are, and you'll likely undergo specialized training to prepare you for the unique aspects of spaceflight.
Okay.
So that includes things like, learning about spacecraft systems, safety protocols, how to handle the physiological effects of weightlessness.
So it's not just, booking a flight and hopping on a rocket.
No.
There's a level of commitment.
There is.
And preparation involved.
Absolutely.
To ensure a safe and successful journey.
Definitely.
What other essential tips would you share with our listeners?
Well, I think it's also important not to underestimate the psychological impact of space travel.
Okay.
Leaving Earth, experiencing the vastness of space,
Yeah.
and then returning to our planet can be a very emotionally profound experience. So it's important to be mentally prepared for that.
Yeah.
Be ready for that sensory overload.
Yeah.
The potential for feelings of isolation and those perspective shifts that can occur when you view Earth from this cosmic vantage point.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's not just about the physical.
It's not.
It's about the mental and emotional as well.
It is.
Space travel really challenges us.
It does.
On multiple levels.
Absolutely.
Now, as we look towards the future,
okay,
I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the long-term evolution of space tourism.
Okay.
What trends are you observing?
Yeah.
And what predictions would you make about the industry's trajectory in the coming years?
Well, I think one of the most significant trends is the increasing accessibility of space travel.
Okay.
As technology advances and costs continue to decline,
right,
we can anticipate that space tourism will become more attainable for a wider range of people.
And that's a good thing.
It is.
I mean, the more people that can experience space, the better.
I agree.
So as this happens, as space travel becomes more accessible,
right,
how do you envision it impacting our relationship with Earth?
That's a really interesting question. I believe it has the potential to foster a greater sense of global unity and environmental awareness.
I see.
When you view Earth from space, national borders kind of fade away and the interconnectedness of all life becomes very apparent.
It does, yeah.
And that perspective can cultivate a profound sense of shared responsibility for our planet and inspire a deeper commitment to protecting its fragile ecosystems.
Yeah.
So in a way, space tourism could be this catalyst for a global shift in consciousness.
Okay.
Reminding us that we're all crewmates on this spaceship Earth, sharing a common destiny.
It's a really powerful reminder that we're all in this together.
Yeah.
And that we need to take care of our planet.
Absolutely.
But shifting from those, those philosophical implications to the more practical steps, what can the space tourism industry do to ensure its long-term sustainability and responsible growth?
Well, developing and implementing sustainable practices is absolutely essential.
Okay.
So that includes things like minimizing space debris, which is a growing concern as space travel becomes more frequent.
Right.
Companies are also exploring the use of sustainable energy sources for spacecraft, things like solar power and biofuels, to reduce their environmental impact.
So it's not just about reaching for the stars.
It's not.
It's about doing so in a way that minimizes our impact on Earth and the celestial environments we explore.
Absolutely. It's about, extending those principles of leave no trace to a cosmic scale, recognizing that our responsibility to protect the environment extends beyond the boundaries of Earth.
Absolutely. It's really encouraging to see the space tourism industry embracing these sustainable practices.
It is.
But let's acknowledge that this is still a relatively young industry.
It is.
What are some of the biggest hurdles that space tourism companies need to address in the coming years to ensure the continued growth and success of this industry?
Well, I think regulatory uncertainty is a major hurdle.
Okay.
The legal framework surrounding space tourism is still evolving. And there's a need for clear guidelines and regulations to ensure the safety of passengers, promote responsible behavior, and foster international cooperation.
Right, because it's a global endeavor, right?
It is.
It's not just one country. It involves the entire world.
It does. And as space tourism becomes more commonplace, establishing this clear legal framework will be absolutely crucial to prevent conflicts and ensure the sustainable development of the industry.
Yeah, it's almost like we're navigating uncharted territory, both literally and figuratively, as we venture into this new realm of space travel and commerce.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
It is. What other challenges lie ahead for the space tourism industry to overcome?
Well, managing risk is another crucial aspect.
Okay.
Space travel is inherently risky.
Right.
And any accidents or mishaps could have devastating consequences, potentially setting back the industry for years.
Right.
So companies really need to prioritize safety at every level.
Of course.
From, meticulous spacecraft design and testing to comprehensive crew training and the development of really robust operational procedures that prioritize the well-being of passengers and crew.
Absolutely. Safety should never be compromised.
No.
Especially in an industry as complex and demanding as space tourism.
Absolutely.
But beyond the technical aspects, what other challenges loom large for the space tourism industry to address?
I think affordability is another major hurdle.
Okay.
While costs are declining, space travel remains a luxury experience that is only accessible to a select few. So to truly democratize access to space, the industry needs to continue developing these innovative technologies that will further reduce costs and make space tourism attainable for a broader audience.
Yeah, it's about bridging the gap, isn't it?
It is.
Between the dream of space travel and the reality of its cost.
Right.
Making it a possibility for people from all walks of life.
Absolutely.
Not just the privileged few.
Right.
But as we strive to make space tourism more accessible, we can't lose sight of the ethical considerations that are intertwined with every aspect of this industry.
That's a really important point, and we need to ensure that the benefits of space tourism are distributed equitably, that the environmental impact is minimized, and that cultural heritage is preserved both on Earth and in the celestial environments we explore. So responsible space tourism requires this careful consideration of its impact on all stakeholders, both present and future.
Absolutely. And I think, as we wrap up this segment of our deep dive into space tourism, I want to leave our listeners with a final thought to contemplate.
Okay.
Imagine a future where space travel is as commonplace as air travel is today.
It's an incredible thought, isn't it?
It is.
A world where people from all walks of life have the opportunity to experience the transformative wonder of space. What impact would that have on our society, our culture, our understanding of ourselves, and our place in this vast universe?
It's a question that really invites us to envision a future that is brimming with extraordinary possibilities.
Absolutely.
And profound responsibilities.
It is.
As we embark on this new era of human exploration.
It's a very exciting time.
It is. It is. And with that thought, I think we'll wrap up this segment.
Okay.
But we'll be back soon with more on space tourism.
Sounds good.
It really is a future brimming with possibilities, and it's already starting to take shape.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, there are so many exciting trends that are emerging in the space tourism landscape right now.
Yeah.
What are some of the key developments that you're observing as this industry evolves?
Well, I think one of the most exciting trends is this increasing focus on personalized experiences.
Personalized experiences.
Yeah, we're moving beyond the era of standardized space tours.
Right.
Where everyone kind of follows the same itinerary.
Right, everyone's packed into the same, rocket or capsule. Or
exactly. And now companies are offering these bespoke space adventures that are tailored to individual interests, preferences, and even aspirations.
So it's like a custom-designed space vacation.
It is.
Where you can choose the experiences that resonate most with you.
Exactly.
What are some examples of these personalized space adventures?
Well, imagine opting for a spacewalk.
Wow.
Accompanied by a seasoned astronaut
Okay.
who guides you through the intricacies of moving in microgravity.
Right.
And points out all these celestial wonders.
Yeah, that would be incredible.
Or, maybe you're drawn to the scientific side of space exploration.
Yeah.
In which case you could participate in experiments aboard the International Space Station.
Wow.
Contributing to our understanding of the universe.
That'd be amazing.
And then for the artistically inclined,
yeah,
there's the possibility of attending like a space art workshop.
A space art workshop.
Yeah.
That's a very unique concept.
It is. Creating masterpieces inspired by those breathtaking views of Earth and the cosmos.
It's like, space tourism is becoming more than just a sightseeing trip.
It is.
It's evolving into a platform for personal growth, creative expression, and even scientific discovery.
Absolutely. And this trend towards personalization
Yeah.
extends beyond the activities themselves.
Okay.
We're also seeing a growing emphasis on customized accommodations and amenities.
Okay.
So picture luxury space hotels
Wow.
with panoramic suites offering these unparalleled views of Earth gourmet dining experiences
Okay.
featuring Michelin star chefs
Wow.
preparing culinary delights
Okay.
that are adapted for a microgravity environment.
Right. You can't exactly have a bowl of soup in space.
Exactly.
You'd have a floating mess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even personalized wellness programs designed to enhance your well-being in space.
So it sounds like the space tourism industry is really drawing inspiration from the world of luxury travel,
Yes.
offering a level of personalization
Right.
and bespoke service
Exactly.
that caters to even the most discerning travelers.
Absolutely.
But beyond the allure of, luxury and customization,
Yeah.
what other trends are shaping the future of space tourism?
Well, I think sustainability is a growing focus.
Sustainability.
Yeah, companies are becoming increasingly aware of the environmental impact of space travel,
Yeah.
and they're actively taking steps to minimize their footprint.
Okay, that's encouraging to hear.
Yeah.
What are some of the initiatives that are being implemented
Right.
to make space tourism more sustainable?
Well, there's a strong push towards developing and utilizing alternative fuels for spacecraft.
Okay.
So biofuels and solar-powered propulsion systems are being explored
Okay.
as cleaner and more sustainable alternatives to traditional rocket fuels.
Right.
And as we've discussed, the development and implementation of reusable spacecraft
Right.
is a major step
Yeah.
towards reducing waste and minimizing the number of launches required.
So it's about finding ways to explore space without compromising the health of our planet,
It is.
ensuring that, our cosmic adventures don't come at the expense of the environment.
Exactly. Finding that balance.
What other sustainable practices are being adopted by the space tourism industry?
Well, responsible waste management is crucial.
Waste management.
Yeah. Companies are developing innovative ways to minimize,
Okay.
recycle, and even repurpose waste generated during space travel,
Okay.
both on spacecraft and at spaceports.
So they're really thinking about the whole life cycle
They are.
of the materials and the waste.
Absolutely. And they're also actively working to prevent the release of pollutants and contaminants into space, ensuring that our exploration doesn't inadvertently harm
Right.
the delicate ecosystems of other planets or celestial bodies.
Yeah, so it's like extending the principles of leave no trace
It is.
to a cosmic scale.
Exactly.
It's recognizing that our responsibility to protect the environment extends beyond the boundaries of Earth. It's really encouraging to see the space tourism industry embracing these sustainable practices.
Yeah, it is.
But, let's acknowledge this is still a relatively young industry.
It is, yeah.
It's facing its share of challenges.
Definitely.
What are some of the biggest hurdles that space tourism companies need to address
Right.
in the coming years to ensure the continued growth and success of this industry?
Well, I think regulatory uncertainty is a major hurdle.
Regulatory uncertainty.
Yeah, the legal framework surrounding space tourism is still evolving.
Right. It's the Wild West out there, right?
In a lot of ways it is.
There are no rules, really.
Right.
Or very few.
And there's a need for, clear guidelines and regulations to ensure the safety of passengers,
Right.
promote responsible behavior, and foster international cooperation.
Right, because it's a global endeavor.
It is.
It's not just one country.
Right.
It involves the entire world.
Absolutely. And as space tourism becomes more commonplace, establishing this clear legal framework will be crucial to prevent conflicts and ensure the sustainable development of the industry.
Yeah, it's almost like we're navigating uncharted territory,
We are.
both literally and figuratively,
Absolutely.
as we venture into this new realm
There's a new realm.
of space travel and commerce.
Yeah.
What other challenges lie ahead for the space tourism industry to overcome?
Well, I think managing risk is another crucial aspect.
Managing risk?
Yes, space travel is inherently risky.
Right.
Any accidents or mishaps could have devastating consequences,
Yeah.
potentially setting back the industry for years to come.
Right.
So companies really need to prioritize safety at every level,
Yeah.
from the design and testing of spacecraft
Right.
to the training of crews and the development of comprehensive emergency protocols.
Absolutely. Safety should never be compromised.
No,
Especially in an industry as complex and demanding as space tourism.
it's absolutely essential.
But beyond the technical and safety aspects,
Yeah.
what other challenges need to be addressed to ensure the long-term viability of space tourism?
I think cost remains a major barrier to entry.
Cost.
Yeah. While prices are gradually becoming more accessible,
Right.
space travel is still largely a luxury experience that's only available to a select few.
Yeah.
So, to truly democratize access to space, the industry needs to continue innovating, developing new technologies that will further reduce costs
Right.
and make space travel a reality for a broader range of people.
Yeah, it's about bridging the gap, isn't it?
It is.
Between the dream of space travel and the reality of its cost.
Right.
Making it attainable for people from all walks of life.
Yeah.
Not just the privileged few.
Exactly.
But as we strive to make space tourism more accessible,
Yeah.
we can't lose sight of the ethical implications
Absolutely not.
of our actions.
We need to approach space tourism with a sense of responsibility, ensuring that it benefits all of humanity,
Right.
not just a select elite.
Right.
This means considering issues of equitable access,
Yeah.
environmental sustainability, and the preservation of cultural heritage,
Right.
both on Earth and in the celestial environments we explore.
It's about ensuring that our exploration of space is conducted ethically and sustainably,
It is.
with a deep respect for the environments we encounter
Right.
and a commitment to preserving them for future generations.
Absolutely.
Well, as we conclude our deep dive into the world of space tourism,
Yeah.
it's clear that this industry is poised to reshape
It is.
not only how we travel,
Right.
but also how we perceive ourselves, our planet, and our place in the universe.
Imagine gazing down at Earth from the vastness of space, witnessing its beauty and fragility firsthand.
It's a perspective that has the power to change us profoundly,
It does.
to instill a sense of awe and wonder, and to inspire a deeper appreciation for the interconnectedness of all life.
Absolutely.
It's a vision of the future
It is.
that is both exhilarating and humbling,
It is.
filled with possibilities and responsibilities.
Yeah.
As we venture into this new era of space exploration,
Right.
it's a journey that will challenge us
Absolutely.
to expand our horizons,
Yeah.
to push the boundaries of human ingenuity,
Yeah.
and to embrace our role as stewards of this pale blue dot we call home.
A pale blue dot that we need to protect.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into space tourism.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been a fascinating conversation, and I'm
Yeah.
sure our listeners have learned a lot.
I hope so.
Until next time, keep looking up.